Summer is officially here and we're kicking it off with some swimming, organizing the house, and hosting a dinner for a friend from far away. For dinner, I want to share some of my favorite Taiwanese dishes and make a special dessert. My goal is to prep as much as possible ahead of time so that on the day off, I can simply cook and assemble everything. I'm starting with a simple salad made with lettuce, apples, cherry tomatoes, walnuts, sunflower seeds, some fresh mozzarella cheese, and making a very simple balsamic dressing. For the side dishes, I am making some wontons. I'm going to serve them with a very nutty, spicy, sweet, and savory sauce, along with some oxtail soup. Making homemade dumplings takes time, and I like to use that time to reflect on Bible verses I've been meditating on throughout the week. Lately, I've been reflecting on James chapter 1, where James talks about trials and perseverance. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness. And let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. As humans, we naturally try to avoid trials because trials often bring suffering. But James presents a very different perspective. He challenges believers to consider trials an opportunity for joy. How can anyone find joy in the middle of hardship? And what exactly is the gain that comes from suffering? One thing these verses remind me of is that trials are unavoidable. No matter how carefully we plan our lives, they will come. Sometimes one at a time and sometimes all at once. Trials are simply part of our life on earth. So the question isn't whether we will face them, but how we will respond when they arrive. Some challenges can be handled through determination and grit, but others are far bigger than our own strength. Loss, illness, accidents, financial challenges, uncertainty, major life transitions like motherhood, and the list just goes on. So how can we possibly see these soul-crushing moments as opportunities for joy? James says that trials test our faith, and that the testing of our faith produces steadfastness. If trials test our faith, then acceptance becomes the first step. Trials reveal what we truly believe. They expose where we place our trust, what we depend on, and what gives us confidence when everything feels uncertain. And once those things are revealed, we have a choice about where we place our faith. People often say that change is the only constant in life. If that's true, then how can we find lasting peace depending on things that are constantly changing? As a Christian, I believe true peace and stability come from God alone. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. His character doesn't change with circumstances, seasons, or time. And I think that's why James says trials produce steadfastness. Steadfastness means remaining firm, constant, and faithful. Those qualities are rooted in God's nature. As we come to know God more deeply through trials, we begin to share in that steadfastness, not because of our own strength, but because we learn to trust in His unchanging character. That realization has changed the way I pray during difficult seasons. Instead of approaching God like a vending machine with a list of requests, I try to come with an open heart, seeking His wisdom and guidance, because regardless of the outcome, I know He will never leave me or forsake me. For the main course, I'm serving fried pork chops over fried rice. I am slicing the pork chops into thinner cutlets and marinating them overnight in a soy sauce-based marinade. Then add the soy sauce based marinade to the crushed garlic along with the ginger scallion water, add some rock sugar and potato starch. Once the marinade is ready, coat the pork chops with the marinade completely and place them in a container or a Ziploc bag and leave them in the refrigerator for up to 2 days.
You got that?
The next dish I am preparing ahead of time is the oxtail soup. I start by browning the aromatics, then add the oxtail and vegetables before filling the Instant Pot with water up to the max line. The final make-ahead item is a Burnt Basque cheesecake. It's known for its caramelized top and the creamy custard-like center. Since it needs to chill for at least 24 hours, I'll wait until tomorrow to add the topping. If I make the same recipe next time, I will avoid whipping the cream cheese, this mixture too much, because I think I over whipped it and then the center turned out to be more like an ice cream texture than custard. I am so glad I prepared most of everything in advance. So today, all that's left to do is cook, assemble, and finish the cheesecake. Starting with the fried rice. Fried rice is such a simple dish, but getting it right requires some attention to details. I like my fried rice to be a little bit crumbly and the grains are separated, so I'm adding some egg yolks into the rice and I'm going to mix them up. This will give the rice a beautiful golden color and it helps to separate the grains. The fried rice is ready when the rice starts to pop in the pan like popcorn. Next, I'm going to fry up the pork chops that I marinated overnight in the refrigerator. And just like that, dinner is served. Thank you, Jesus, for such wonderful food and a wonderful time shared with friends. And thank you, Kitchen, for working so hard. See you next time.